Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm just giving a basic introduction to Darknet, Tor, and the basic OPSEC for such. All right. Disclaimer, I'm not responsible for anything that you do on Tor or whatever functions you serve there. So this is for educational and research purposes only. All right. To clear up some definitions here, when I refer to the darknet, I purely refrain to everything that is localized onto networks such as Tor, things that can't be accessed through means of the internet, through clear web. And some misconceptions here are the definitions of deep web versus Tor versus the darknet. Deep web is just anything that isn't indexed, which includes the darknet, but the darknet can be accessed through other functions. All right. This is probably the most important thing. You can't, when you download Tor, don't use your base operating system. It is very important. Everything you do is made erroneous if you try to do such a thing like that. Because what it does is you're basically allowing a spy device that is Windows or your phone, etc., to basically log key functions, send everything that you do onto other companies or the government's websites. The idea of Tor is that you want to remain anonymous, you want to remain hidden, and using Windows or your phone is just automatically going to destroy all that. So, basic functions. The first thing you do, and the most important thing, is obviously installing systems that obscure yourself. So what I mean by that is Tails OS and Unix, those are Linux-based distros. What they do is that Tails OS you can install onto a live boot USB drive. You can plug it in, take it out. All the data that you logged, everything you searched, is automatically deleted. It's non-persistent. Same with Unix, except Unix is made for virtual machines, which you can run on top of a base operating system. Not recommended though, but it obscures what you do, and it basically has Tor built in. So this allows you to divorce and disconnect your clear web and your base operating systems from what you do privately on the darknet. Now, a different approach that you can take is on top of using Unix or Tails is you can have like a paranoid schizophrenic approach to what you're actually going to do and serve different functions. Some people will go to buying another laptop or using another device and then going on to different networks such as a cafe or a coffee shop. And what they do is, go to the corner, tilt your screen a little bit, get away from the cameras, and then just serve your functions there. What it does is it even creates a larger air gap between your activity, which some people want, but it's probably far too extreme for what 99% of people are going to be doing. Unless you're like a darknet vendor where you sell drugs, it's probably completely unnecessary. All right, you installed Tails or you installed Unix and you're running it. What now? How do you actually access the darknet? Where does it exist? The thing is, it's not indexed on the ClearNet, so there are certain hubs that serve a certain purpose of maintaining all these connected markets, forums, services, crypto exchanges, etc. And such are Tor.taxi and dark.fail. If you go to these sites, you can then access onion routes and onion sites through these. And what that allows you to do is you can access the forums, you can access news posts. Let's say you're a journalist, you want to tip a journalist, or you want to tip some news company anonymously. This is a way to access those. If you want to, let's say, buy a VPN anonymously, or if you want to use a crypto exchange, maybe mix some of your Bitcoin, exchange Bitcoin to Monero, etc., etc. These two sites are the ways to do it. It serves as an all-purpose function to browsing, searching, and utilizing the darknet. Now, when it comes to currency, the most popular currency of choice on the darknet is actually Monero. Because Monero, it obscures a lot of the ledger. That is, when you make a transaction, it creates multiple digital signatures that act as fake accounts for that. So it's significantly harder to trace than it is for Bitcoin, which when you make a transaction, it's just from one account to another. You can immediately draw a line between that and to you most of the time. So just general advice is to buy Bitcoin off whatever exchange you want. Go to one of the exchanges that I listed on Tor.taxi or such. Exchange your Bitcoin to Monero and keep it on a cold hardware wallet, such as a USB hard drive or USB drive. So, okay. So, general OBSEC rules is, all right, rule number 1 is you don't really exist. You want to be invisible. Nothing you do should be able to be immediately traced back to you. So you never give away your name, never give away your email, never give away where you lived, your hobbies, your interests, your friends, things you've done, things you've met, your pets, literally nothing that can even be identified to you, not even linguistic patterns that are related to geography. You know, if I use the word y'all, I can immediately tell that you're from the South. That's what Southerners use. Or if you use pop instead of soda, let's say you're having a discussion on a forum post, that's a Midwestern thing. Don't do that. You want to obscure as much as yourself as possible. Rule number 2 is related to that, but try not to stand out. So what I mean by be a zebra, one of the things that biologists found out when they were trying to study zebras was it was extremely hard to deviate which zebra is which. They couldn't follow the zebra they were studying. So what they'd do is they'd mark the zebra. And what happens when the zebra got marked? It got immediately killed by predators. So they'd mark another zebra, and it got hunted. The stripes of a zebra serves as a group camouflage. The second a zebra is marked, it makes it immediately noticeable to predators, and that's how it gets taken down. So you want to be camouflaged within the group. You don't want to stand out. Obscure your patterns. All right. So even the device you log into Tor, where you do it, your on and off ramps, so different networks, the time you access it, how often you do, the accounts you use. Maybe you want to create multiple personas and create separate accounts. Try to divorce your activity and randomize it, obscure it as much as possible. That way you can actually appear invisible. All right, 5, just shut up. I am amazed by how many people I know that have done stuff onto the Darknet and then they brag about what they actually do. Like, oh, I bought a fake ID so I can get alcohol. But that's the idea, is that you don't want anyone to know. It takes a much smarter person to shut up than it does to talk. You're not a genius for accessing Tor, let's say. All right. Number 6, never get too comfortable with what you're doing. Nothing is bulletproof. You're always going to leave a trail behind somewhere, and just always take precaution, always be paranoid, always be salient to the things that can come to you if you actually do anything bad. And common sense. What I mean by common sense is really, if it seems dangerous, it probably is. If it seems like a bad idea, it probably is, etc. It's a general rule that people tend not to follow nowadays, and it's something that is especially true and something especially you need to do when you're using something like this. All right. Some final notes is I'm not a professional. I'm just here giving a talk. Do your own research. Ask people who are more knowledgeable on this stuff, and that's it. All right. Thank you.